there. I think it's working. I think it's done working. Oh snap, Sunday. Not Sunday, today's Saturday. Whatever day you're watching this on, hello. I'm tinkering with electronics. And I'm getting ready to fire up a project here. And yes, hello internet. 'Tis I, Paisley Computer. And oh no, my Nintendo. So I got a Nintendo hooked up to my computer, a real Nintendo, and it works about as well as a Nintendo does. And we're gonna try to fix some cartridges. So I've got a couple cartridges. I've got an effects pedal. I've got a speaker. So let me go turn off that Nintendo because that's gonna drive me crazy. Yeah. All right, the classic blue screen. Okie dokie. And let me get back in the saddle here. Okay. So, whoop. Hello again. And yeah, so I've got some tools set up here. You can see we've got the soldering irons out. I've got my solder pump out. And we're going to fix some things. Specifically, actually, lost my microphone. Okay. What I want to do, and hopefully I can show it, is I'm going to fire this Nintendo back up. Oh, shoot. It's going to be testy, isn't it? This is what I get for monkeying around with it earlier. It always comes out scrambled eggs sometimes. If you get it in just the right spot. Alright. Well, shoot. Still acting weird. Well, hold on a minute. Let me show you what's going on here, gang. Oh, okay. So, let's see if we can still get into it. So, I've got some saved games in this cartridge, and I don't think I want to trust the battery of that holds these saved games. Basically, when you save a game on a Nintendo, that information is not permanent. There is a battery inside the cartridge, and I just get this thing to boot cleanly. That's something else we're going to do. Oh, there we go. While I'm in there, I'm going to clean the cartridge. But here we go. So you can see I've got a couple different saved games, and they're only a few hours into each game. So when I pull the battery, I know I'm going to lose the memory save. So these games will get deleted in this process. But I just wanted to set this up to make sure that when I tear the game apart and put it back together, that it still works. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the Nintendo off. We can see these saved games. We're going to say goodbye to them. But the advantage here is that when I'm done changing the battery on the cartridge, those saves will then be good for another 25 plus years. Hopefully. More than they will be now. So, without further ado, let me make sure Audio levels are looking good. Okay, cool. All right. So, we're going to put the pedal away for just a moment. We got a couple different Nintendo games here. Complete Inbox, Link to the Past. I'm sorry, just Adventures of Link, Legend of Zelda, and my buddy Gilgamesh. The whole reason why I'm doing this stream is to fix this Final Fantasy cartridge. But I'm going to do it to my Link first, just to know I can get this process down. And if I damage a cart in the process, at least it's my own cartridge. And so, without further ado, we're going to kick this party off by opening up Link here. Got my game bit screw head here. This is a 3.8 millimeter really weird hex head. If you just look up game bit adapters on Amazon, eBay, you'll find them. They're not that rare. Okay, so we're into the cartridge. We're flipping it over, and this here battery is what we need to junk. So basically I've got to melt the solder off the back of these points here and remove it. So without further ado, I've got a solder pump here that I'm waiting to warm up. And I've got some solder wick, which I think I'm going to attack it with the wick first. And we may need to, sometimes when you put like fresh solder on old solder, it comes off easier. So we might even try that as well. But my solder, it's stuck in the tube. Oh, I've got like, oh geez, holy shit. Yeah, it's letting us know it's up to temp. It's just really, 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 really loud at telling us that. Okay, here we go. We'll use this stuff. Okie dokie. So, I think what I'm gonna do is, you can see these two tabs. These two tabs right here. Unfortunately, I really can't bring the camera too much closer while I'm doing this, but that's okay, because what we're soldering is pretty large. You should be able to see these silver points here. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the wick down on top of the existing solder points, and I'm going to press it in there with the iron in hopes that we can liquefy some of that solder and it will flow into our solder wick here. Which I know this may not be the best angle. Here we go. Now you can see better what I'm doing. I think I might just be better off, honestly, attacking this with the solder vacuum, or sometimes what you can do too is, rather than removing all the solder from the point, you can heat up the tab, and then once the solder gets to its liquid state, you can just push it push it on through. I'm gonna try the solder gun. Oh no, the solder gun doesn't fit. That's all right, we'll press it in there anyway. See what we can do. All right, I think we need to add some more solder and then try to remove the solder that we had. The other thought I had too is like a little bit of a pry method. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide a tool head underneath the battery and very delicately I'm going to add some heat to that pin, and then we're going to try to push, or at least, pull that battery out. So now it's got that hot new solder on there. Oh, there we go. Yep, that totally worked. Sick. Now, at least it pulled it out quite a bit of the ways, but I don't know if I made it all the way out. Come on, buddy. Woo! All right, I think we're out. Yes. One side is done. I'm going to try that same technique on the other side. Heat up the tab. And pull it right out. Bingo, bango. Look at that. It's like I pulled a tooth out. I feel like a dentist. Sweet. So that bigger tab was facing this way as I smash it. So now that we got that done, we're going to now replace it with a new battery. One of these. The CR2032. And I'm going to match up the holes. Here you can see what I'm doing. Oh shucks. Teeny tiny pins to get in there. You gotta really squeeze these up. Having a little bit of trouble with one of these holes, so we're gonna go back. Oh yeah, holy smokes, that solder pump. I don't know if you can see it. Look at that, you can see. Oh yeah, you can't like see right through it. That thing works so good. Pulled that old shit right out. Okay, so again, positive side. It's even marked. Let's see, on the board, which side's positive. There's a teeny, tiny little plus sign above the terminal. It's positive. I promise it's there. And then, oh, let me do this on camera. You line up your taberinos. And then I want to deflect them out. So it kind of holds the battery in place. All right. So the battery's in place, but now let's solder it down permanently. And the best way to do that is with a little bit of flux and a little bit of solder. So I got my flux here. I like gelatin flux in a syringe. There's all kinds of different flux you can get. Don't really matter. They'll all pretty much do the same stuff. Basically, flux is going to ensure the, I guess, alloys and the solder stick to the prongs and whatever. I don't know. It works like magic. It's pretty awesome. Okay, so now we've got our flux in place. I'm really sorry I can't really zoom in too well with the camera, but these two pads here, shapow, those two big baddies, that's what I'm gonna put down. Welcome viewers, thanks for stopping by. I see we got 2 live ones, so that's cool. Oh shit, I'm losing my microphone. Let me put down the solder gun before I burn my face. All right, okay. Hopefully you can still hear me fine. I think my levels are all right. So here we go. We are heating up. Uh-oh. I got stuck to it. And number 2. Ooh, that was a nice one. There we go. Oh no. The mirror fell. Holy smokes. You gotta be able to see me. Not really though, but it's just fun. It's a pretty rinky-dink setup I got here, folks. I'm just doing it for funsies. This ain't a high-level production. But I think it's a fun gimmick having the mirror. So anyway, yeah, we got it. Zoop. We got it down. So you can see that big square and this other thing here. Yeah. That is in there. She ain't going nowhere. Should have good contact. I'm gonna heat this tab up a little bit more, just to get a little more flow, because there's a little bit of a glob, and sometimes all you gotta do is remelt it, and all your mistakes will go away. Like that. Ba-ba-da-da-ba-ba-boop-ba-ba-beep. One done. So now, while we're under the hood, there's another thing I want to do. And that, my viewers, is to clean this cartridge as well. The tabs on the bottom, along the bottom here. Let me get underneath the camera. How do I do that? Let me move my toys. Move this, move that. Okay. So the tabs down here, those things, after years and years of you blowing on them, there's like moisture that builds up on them and the metal starts to oxidize, and that is why the game cartridge, when you put it into a Nintendo, often doesn't work right away. And you have to sit there and blow into it and wiggle it and, you know, dang. My little stand here is a real POS. This is struggle production, folks. You get what you pay for, you know? It's so hard to find good help these days. Actually, you know what I could do? Is I'll just use the games. All right, now we're rock solid. So like I was saying, the tabs oxidize from you spitting on them. And there's no amount of rubbing alcohol, or you can't use a solvent. Because again, we're talking about oxidized metal. So the way you deal with that is with one of these. And this is a fiberglass scratch pen. And what it is, it's basically cancer and a tip. There's a bunch of fiberglass fibers in the end of this little pressure tip pointy thing. And what it does, it's basically like it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a scratch pen. It scratches the surface of the metal off. So you basically are removing the oxidization of the metals. And what you can do with this thing is it's retractable. See, you can twist the knob and a little bit more will pop out. And you don't want too much to come out. You want it to be kind of stiff. You don't want it to be like a brush. You want it to be like a, you know, pointed. And then what we're going to do is we're going to polish all of these tabs, both sides. You don't have to do too much. All you got to do is, I know you can't really see it because my hand's in the way, but I got to hold the cartridge in place. You'll see a before and after. So you can see how much more shiny it is already. That's what we want. We want shiny. So we're going to return the shiny to Link's Adventure, Zeldar 2. The Zeldar returns. And we're just doop, 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 doop. There's no secret to it. I mean, you just want to hit each prong maybe 2 or 3 times. And you'll see it just gets more shiny. You'll see little there might be even little splotches of oxidization on there. And with a couple strokes of the magic scratch pen, she's nice and clean. So look at that. You can even probably see like a layer of dirt that came off this baddie. And I did say front and back, so we're gonna turn it over and we're gonna blast the other side. And then when I'm done with this, I've got my Nintendo hooked up to my Elgato, and we can double check that I didn't destroy this game. And if I did a good job, I'm gonna do 2 more Nintendo games. Okay, almost there, almost there. I can see this side. Some of these look really gnarly. There's like kind of a pretty defined stripe going down these ones on the far left side. Gives me a little bit of concern, not gonna lie. I'm giving them a little extra grease right on that little darker spot. And that spot does seem to fade a little bit, so that gives me hope. Might be seeing the same thing over here as well. So we're just gonna touch those up. Okay, I think that's as good as they're gonna get. But again, you can see all these like lines of dirt. That's all just crud, just 35 plus years of nasty. So you can even wipe them down. And yeah, I know there could be fibers that get stuck on the back side here, so I'm going to be cautious of that. Okay. She's looking a little more clean than she was before, and with a fresh battery. Now I can put in, you know, if I put in a 20 hours into a game, I don't want the battery to die on me, so this thing should be good to go for a very long time. So we're gonna go ahead and entomb the cartridge once again, and I'm gonna, like I said, we're gonna test it live. So I got a real working Nintendo. I've got a really dope Nintendo that I've modded. I basically rebuilt it from the ground up with a new motherboard, with Tim Worthington's RGB mod. I've got Voltar's palette mod in there, and it's running to a RetroTink 5X. So it's a bougie Nintendo. And then something else that I didn't know about these old cartridges, on the back, the ones that have battery saves, there's a big warning on the back. And you can see it here. Maybe you can't read it, but I'll read it to you. It says, this game pack contains batteries. Do not rapidly turn off the power switch and turn it back on. Do not load or reload or remove while the power is on. To save game information, you must hold the reset button while turning the power off. I never knew that. You must, and it's underlined and in bold, you must hold in the reset button while turning the power off. The game pack must be cleaned regularly, which we did, using the Nest cleaning kit, which those carts that you rub back and forth, those are again just little fiberglass carts. And then, yeah, a bunch of stuff in languages I don't speak. So, yeah, I didn't know that thing about you must hold the reset button in when you turn it off to save it. I don't know. I've never done that. I had this cartridge for 30-something years, and it never had any issues. So, let's go. I'm going to go over to the Nintendo. And before, let me do something real quick. So now you guys can see what the Nintendo screen is doing. And I'm just walking over across my living room, plugging this thing in. And now I fully expect there's going to be no saves on this cart. And it's going to be a butt. It's always this, yeah, Nintendos are so finicky, dog. All right. Dang. I thought for sure cleaning it would do the trick. Did we kill it? I'm not confident I killed it. I'm less confident this Nintendo is cool. It wants to work. It's a finicky little bee's nest. This was a difficult cart to get started already. So again, I'm not surprised it's being finicky. It might be worth tossing in a cart we know that works. I wonder if I put the battery in upside down. Oh. Hey. You know what's funny though is I hit reset and it works. So yeah, we'll have that. Okay, so here we go. Uh-oh. What is going on? Ah. Okay, so we know we didn't bunk the cart. We saw it boot. Okay, there we go. Oh shit, it like keeps. What would cause that? Elgato, is my software being weird? Boop-a-doo, boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. No. Well, we know it works. I just need to. I think the video signal is being funky. So we can see it boot, like we can see it on Elgato. We gotta troubleshoot this. I'm gonna figure this out. We know the cart turns on, but what I want to do is start a game, register as, I don't know, Mr. Cool. Okay, so we're playing as Mr. Cool. Sweet, all right. We got this far. So we started a game. Now if I reset it, the battery's working, you should have Mr. Cool. Hey! Okay. So it works. There we go. One person saw me fix a thing. Yay. Look at that. Okay. Oh, I got a hungry kitty cat. You're gonna hear a lot of screaming in the background. Don't worry, she's fine. She's just a hungry lady. Sick. Okay, let's get the next one done. I am excited. That is exciting. Neat. So this game's value just went up $40,000 or $50,000 easily. Complete inbox with working saves, baby. This game is worth north of 200 to 350 units soft credits. Okay, let's also, we're gonna save best for last. Oh. We're gonna do Zeldar 1. And with a new battery complete in box, we're gonna increase its value by 600 quintillion points. First things first, just like we did last time. See, this one says game pack contains batteries. It may be damaged if game pack is removed or inserted with the power on, or the power switch is rapidly turned on and off. Don't leave game pack in extreme temperatures. Do not immerse in water. Do not clean with benzene, thinner, alcohol, or such solvents. That is, that's getting back to my whole comment about don't use solvents to try to clean your games. It's only going to make them worse. Oh wow, this one's got tiny flathead screws. I know this is an authentic game because this is the game from my childhood. Bought at KB Toys in probably like 1989. So I'm using a teeny tiny precision flathead. I'm trying to think when this game maybe came out. Did this come with a Nintendo? No, this did not come with a Nintendo. We had the action pack, which included the Zapper and Mario 1. All right, so we're in. And I do believe some time ago I actually did already clean the tabs on here. So we're not going to worry too much about the tabs. I might give them a quick once over, you know, while we're in the hood. But what we're really after, again, is this battery. Because once that thing goes out, your game is gone. Your save is no more. So we are going to get under the hood and replace it. Now this one's got quite a bit more solder on the base. Oh, kitty. Oh, kitty. Kitty's really, she really wants dinner, but she's got an hour and a half. So what I was saying, there's a lot more solder on the base. I don't know, how close can I get? It's almost, there's like a bump of solder on there, which the other games did not have. So I don't know if I can just liquefy it and pull it through like I did last time. I think that's the tactic I'm going to go with though, simply because it worked for the last one. And can't deny success. So let's try to melt some solder. Oof. Oh, there we go. There it goes. Oh, nice. Yeah, dude, that totally fucking works. Yeah. All right, now we got one side out. And the other's gone. Look at that. Bingo, bango. Oh, wait. Before we turn it over, I got to remember. Okay, cool. Positive and negative is labeled on the cart. Just to be thorough, we're going to get rid of all that old solder. We're going to wake up the solder pump, the solder vacuum. While that heats up, I'm going to get us another little fresh battery here. I got a whole box of these things. You can just buy like a whole, I think there's a dozen of them in here. So that's why I'm just going through this. I just got all the games that I have with battery saves. So shout out to Gilgamesh. He is my buddy who gave me the Final Fantasy to fix, which I'm gonna get that fixed for him next. Once we fix this here Zelda, it's because we got Link working. I want to get Zelda working. And then we're going to do Final Fantasy. And I do have a whole bunch of other games, but I don't really care about high scores. I do care about saved games. And all the other games I have, I think, are just all high score stuff. So I'm not going to worry. I'm going to worry about the batteries. I don't think these have any risk of oxidizing like AA's and AAA's do. You know, when you get all that like white shit on the outside of a Duracell. So I don't know that just leaving old batteries in there is negligent. I mean, while I'm here, I might do it just because I got the tools out, and seems like I got the process to pop the batteries out down-ish, and the boards are labeled correctly, so this shouldn't be too hard to do. Come on, there we go. Woo, that's loud. Jeez Louise. Okay, so what we're doing is we're sucking solder. And I want to remove the old solder because I don't know how I'm going to get the little arm of the battery through the hole without pulling the solder out. Sometimes you can kind of do the inverse and heat up the stem of the battery or, you know, appliance, whatever it is you're trying to install. Dang, dude, there's like a little teeny tiny bit down in there that I can't get out. And again, sometimes a good way to get rid of solder, it sounds counterintuitive, but you add a little bit fresh, add some new solder. So there we go, just put a little quick dab will do. And then we get out our gun. The gun is actually a little hotter than the iron with the intention of the heat penetrating faster. Oh man, there's just like, it might be enough to get through. Yeah. Yeah. One other thing that kind of worries me is the amount of flux that came out of that. Okay. I think the hole's good. I think I got enough clearance to get the pin through. And if the pin don't fit, that's when you use heat. So, oh, it went right through. Okay, so, and again, we're just putting the pins through the board. We've got the positive side correct. And I'm using the butt of this tool to angle the pins opposites. So there's a little bit of tension to hold it in place. And now we're going to use a little bit of flux. And again, I know may not be super clear on your side what I'm doing. This is not surgery. These are very large solder points. So this is very easy beginner level soldering stuff. Basically all we're doing is pouring lead into 2 singular spots on 2 pins. And if you've ever built anything, you can see how many solder points there are just on this board. So if you like build, a synthesizer or something, you're going to be doing several hundred of these. But in this repair, we are only doing a handful. So we're going to use a little bit of heat. Oh, there we go. Plenty to fill the hole. There we go. Hole is filled. So you can see my work. Boop, boop, beep, boop. Nice and flush, nice and flat. Our nice, clean, fresh battery. Riding not high, but riding at the correct level of the rest of the chips. If you look down the board. Right there, yeah. So yeah, let's put it back together and put it in the Nintendo to test it. And then there's one more game after that. Actually, while I'm in here, while we got it open, and I know I said I already did it, but just to be thorough, we're going to bust out the scratch pens. Just give those tabs on the bottom a quick once over. Bless you, kitty cat. Sorry, I can't really place my hand in a good spot where you can kind of see what I'm doing, but I don't know that it's that interesting. Basically, all I'm doing is again, we're just scratching, just doing a quick scratch on these metal tabs. I'm just doing a real quick one, real quick. Not spending more time than 1 or 2 strokes on each one. Okay, yeah, little nasties came off. We're going to do the other side. And again, just like Bob Ross, just get in there. Make a little happy cartridge. And you want to give the tabs on the end a little bit of extra love. Those are the ones that always seem to be the nastiest in my experience. So, yeah, you can see a little bit of grime came off. So we're going to put our nice, clean, fresh battery back in the sarcophagus. And not using a game bit, interestingly, I'm kind of perplexed why these aren't game bit screws on this cartridge. I'm going to blame my dad back in the 80s if he bought a bootleg cart. He bought a bootleg cart for $35 out of a trunk at some guy at JCPenney's. Okay, I think I can tighten it a little bit. I don't like tightening these things like death squeeze tight, because there's just plastic posts. They're holding it together, but just enough that it, get no rattle, All right, so I gotta mess up my beautiful mirror one more time. And they have one viewer. Hi, viewer. Thanks for sticking around. Hit the chat if you're feeling it. Helps the engagement, even if you know me personally. I don't care if that's my mom or dad. I'm very lucky to have supportive people around me. Okay, so up next, Final Fantasy. This, oh wait, we didn't test Zelda. Hold on. We gotta go test Zelda. I can't just put it away and assume that it works. So let's turn on the Nintendo. I got my cartridge. I'm gonna go over to the Nintendo. And I'm gonna put the cartridge in the Nintendo. Man, these things are here. This Nintendo's a real pain. I know I was like bragging about how cool and customized it is, but at the end of the day, it's kind of a pain in the ass. Oh, come on, buddy. I know you want to play. You just gotta like find that sweet spot, you know? Oh. Boom! Wow! Alright, so like before, we're going to register as cool, because that's how I feel right now. Super freaking cool. Alright, cool's there. Alright, we're ripping Zeldar. So that's sick. Hopefully you can see and hear that. So there we go. We got that much. Now if I turn the contraption off and turn it back on, will the game save still exist? All right. This copy of Zelda has increased its value by 75,642,861 units. So we're gonna fix one more. All right, so we got, yeah, that is a complete inbox Zelda. Bought from the back of some dude's trunk. It's definitely a legit copy. I mean, come on. I think it is. I think. Anyway, we got that done. Here, I'm not really sure the best way to it keeps slinking away on me. It's working. All right, good enough. All right, so up next in our mission, Final Fantasy. We're reviving games. We're saving games. This is a restoration marathon here. So, similar to, oh man, this one's tight. Tight. Holy smokes. Obviously, I could put the GameBit driver in an actual driver, but they're usually not that tight. And I'm just doing it with my fingies, because I also like rock climbing, so it's sometimes challenges like these are fun. Cause I'm weird. Shit, that is, I don't know. I might have to actually go get a bit to do this. It is spooky dooky, spooky tight. All right, I'm gonna put the microphone down for just a moment. I gotta go get something. Whoops. All right, so yes, these are wire strippers, but there's a little flathead thing on there, and I just need it to help me get a couple turns in. There we go. All right. Talk to me. Ooh. Final Fantasy. You have seen some better days. That is some dirty, dirty tabs. Those things are grody butt. Oh, and that battery's fucked, dude. It's all smoked out. Maybe these do corrode. Wow. It has like a haze on it. No, kitty. Kitty, I'm sorry. She's sharking around. Yeah, so that battery has seen better days. So yeah, let's get started. Reviving a very, very classic game here. This is the very, very first Final Fantasy. And I am going to do the same trick I've been doing. I'm going to put it on top of this Nintendo RF shield here. We're going to put a little teeny tiny pressure under the battery. And we're going to give it a little bit of heat. There's not much solder. The other Zelda had a ton of solder on it. This one doesn't have nearly as much. Oh, there we go. I think it just... Oh, hey. Oh, that spooked me. It moved pretty quick out the hole. Oh, it didn't go all the way out though. That's okay. I can get it out with my fingers. All right. She's free. I think, okay, I was gonna say the solder pump might be useful. Bam. Gotta love having the right tools. All right, next side. Same thing, a little bit of heat, a little bit of pressure. Whoa, there we go. Golly, that like spooks me so much every time. All right, so this other tab didn't quite release all the way, so we're gonna... A little bit of heat, a little bit of pressure. Why are you not releasing? Come on, Bubba. There we go. Whee! All right, Gil. Sorry if you had a saved game, bud. You ain't got one now. There are ways to back up old saves from cartridges. I just don't have the device to do it. Okay. The holes are clean. We got clean holes. And we need a fresh battery from the pack from old Uncle Bezos. Look at this. We got like a whole graveyard of dead batteries. Each one of these represents, I don't know how many tens of thousands of hours of saved time, you know. It's weird to think about. These batteries were slowly dripping out their energy for over 30 years just so I could come back and play a video game. It's kind of surreal. And now these batteries can drive vehicles, so you know. All right, so we're in. Tabs are in place. New batteries there. Little squirt of fluxy poo. Just to help that solder go where you want it to go. And now we're just going to use a little bit of heat and no pressure. We're just going to let that heat melt that solder. Fill that hole filled. One more. Now you don't want to push the solder into the head of the iron. You want to push it into the tab so it fills and goes flush. Which that to me looks like a perfect, beautiful, clean solder job. At least on one of them. Let me fix the other one. There we go. Boom. Nice and flat, nice and clean. Fresh battery, which is right exactly the height of the chips. It doesn't extend. We got it sunk in there correctly. But that ain't all. While we're under the hood, scratch pen time. So I like to put these on a clean paper towel, which paper towels do leave strands. So when you're done, before you put your game away, just give it a good eyeball check and make sure there's no hairs bridging any of the gaps. Warning before anybody comments. So like we did before, holy smokes, there's a whole load of gunky gunk coming off the tabs. Oh my god, my cat's going crazy. It's getting close to feeding time, so she's in a witching hour mode. So if you hear crashing and screaming and howling, yeah, she's going ape shit. She's got the zoomies real bad. She got a real bad case of the zoomies. Okay. All right. We're 25% of the way done. So you can already see we got a nice dirt mark. And I don't know how well it'll show on camera, but just the shiny between the side that I did and the side that I didn't do. You know? It makes a difference. I know my Nintendo might not be the best example of the difference it is making because, you know, again, my Nintendo is special. But I think most of them are, you know, that's just kind of that's just how old technology was, man. That's why the classic blowing into the Nintendo, like, it's not like those problems got any better over time. You know, honestly, they got a lot worse in a lot of ways. But by learning basic solder skills and maintenance, we as a community can preserve classics like these forever and ever. Damn, I'm not gonna lie. This is the third game I've polished, and my hand is hoiting. It's worth it. You gotta put in the pain to game, you know? No pain, no gain, no game. So Gil, if you're watching, this is all for you, buddy. And oh wow, holy crap a moly. You can just see how much stuff's coming off though, like probably pretty gross in GL, but this will keep this cartridge running for decades. Oh my god, my hand's gonna explode. I am not. Yeah, this is definitely the last. Holy crap. I think I'm definitely gonna have to do another pass on this side. But when you're doing this, you don't want to put like the death grip on it. You know, it's just enough, just like you're erasing. And if you don't have a scratch pen, honestly, if you have a good Ticonderoga pencil, you can rubber, like the rubber eraser actually works pretty good. That's what I used to use as a kid. You might even get away with like those like pen erasers, those ones that are like dark gray. But you know, we live in the age of Amazon, so you can get a pack of scratch pens for like $6. All right, I think that's as good as it's gonna get, which is 50,000 million times better than it was. And we just increased the value of this Final Fantasy by $60,000 to $75,000. So if you take this on Antiques Roadshow, they'll be like, no way. And you'll be like, uh-huh. You'll be like, dude. All right. So the reason why I don't use a driver to screw these things back in is because if you can over tighten these screws and snap the posts inside the cartridge. And if you do that, you are fricked. Oh, cool. That light just turned on. All right. So they're not death tight. They're tight enough. And it says this game pack contains batteries. It may be damaged if the game pack is removed or inserted with the power on, or the power switch is rapidly turned on and off. But Link said you had to save, you hit reset then power. These other two games don't say that, so I'm suspect on what they're even talking about. Let's go test it. Let me turn on the Nintendo. And again, If it doesn't boot a couple times, it's totally expected because this Nintendo is already rinky-dinky. But what I'm really testing is making sure that if I do get it to boot and I can start a save, that when I reset the game, it will also have that save. But like we saw with the other, and you might be like, well, it's probably because you're scratching your games. No, these are not CDs. It's physical pins, but this Nintendo is just a touchy lady. I did get it to boot earlier, so I do know it works. Just want to put that out there. This is part of the fun of retro gaming. Come on, girl. You got this. Dang, yo. All right, we're gonna stay on this stream until this works. There is no not working. It's just how many times do you have to try until it works, which might be more than I want. Come on, baby. This is a finicky one. Come on. Oh, black screen. Is black screen good? That's a different screen. I don't hear nothing. I think there's text right in the beginning. Ugh. We're gonna get it. Come on, gang. Everyone cross your fingers. I'm just turning it off, like slightly wiggling it a little bit. And then turning it back on. I'm gonna do the old insert and resert and insert and resert. That sometimes works. But really, I think what it is the device that like the cart slips into. I think I need to like fix the pins on it. I think the pins, it might be bent. Hey, got it. Continue. Oh wait, maybe we didn't get it. Hear music. But when I try to make a selection, it doesn't do anything. Oh wait, what is all this? Okay, we didn't see this before. Hey. Alright. Oh, okay, we gotta pick the whole team. It seems like a lot of work. I'm just in it to... How do I get out of this? I just want to make a save game. I'm just trying to start the game. So I'm not really trying to give him a name. Oh, okay, we just gotta fill it up. Good enough. Cool. Final Fantasy. Alright. So, we got it working. I know I can't really be on camera while we got this running. But the good news is that it's running. We started a new game. And now, we gotta get this game to boot again. I'm gonna turn the power off. We're gonna turn the power back on. Gonna boot. We're gonna continue game. Maybe we can get to the first save spot. Oh man. It didn't go how I expected it to. Do I need to save? There might be save points in this game that I'm not privy to. So that means I need to play this for a second so we can validate that it works. So let me just go ahead and do a full screen on this. And we're gonna basically try to figure out how to save the game. Usually that's gonna involve talking to the king. I've never played this before. I've played plenty of RPGs in my day. And I know you gotta go talk to the king usually. Light warriors. Just as Lucan's prophecy, Garland has kidnapped the princess. Please help her. Yeah, I would love to, but I gotta save my game. And usually maybe that involves going to a bedroom so you can sleep. That's a pretty popular mechanic. Frankly, I don't know how to save my game. And I want to test that. And I don't want to have to like wander around and play this because this stream is not intended to be a me playing games. It's me repairing games, but I do need to validate that the save works. I just don't know how to save. Maybe I should just Google that real quick. Yep, I'm gonna Google it real quick. That seems to be the thing to do. Okay. So, Googling how to save in Final Fantasy. How to, gotta spell how, right? How to save Final Fantasy NES. How do I save the game? Q&A. You either stay at an inn or you can use a tent, cabin, or house item on the overworld map. Fortunately, those are the only two ways to save. Bam! What did I tell you? I knew it. These RPGs have not progressed in 40 years. Like I said, you gotta go to a house, in this case an inn. So that tells me I should probably leave the castle, eh? We're gonna leave the castle, to go to the inn, to save it, and then hopefully the save will work. I'm feeling pretty confident it's gonna work, but this is not my game. This game was sent to me by my buddy Gilgamesh, who is a really good artist. I have some links to his stuff in the description. But anyway, Gil, your game works, bud. I just want to make sure that I can save, you know? Yeah, one of these guys. Hey, an inn. That's what I'm talking about. Save your data. Yes, please. 30 gold. Oh, I got 400. Don't forget to leave your game. Hold reset when you turn power off. That's a thing. Hold reset when you turn power off. Wow. That's funny that they even put it in the game. Okay, well let's do that. We're gonna hold reset, power off. We're gonna power back on. The world is veiled. We're gonna continue. Oh, Gilgamesh, your game works. I am stoked. That's not even my game. I'm just doing favors for homies. Oh, that makes me happy. Sick. All right. Well, there we go. 3 games. Back to back to back. Revived. But that ain't all. I got more. Now that I'm pumped and I'm on a roll, we still have 1 viewer, which is probably my parents. Mom and Dad, if you're watching, we're going to wake the irons back up by giving them a shake. And now, the next thing we're going to fix is this. This is a Zoom. Whoa, shoot, almost dropped it. Wow, that was a good catch. This is a Zoom Multistomp effects box, good for guitars and or synthesizers or whatever you want to plug into it. It's got dual ins and outs, which means it's a stereo effects unit, and it actually does triplicate chains. So you can move left and right as if you have multiples of these. So you can actually have, it's 3 pedals in one. It's really, really, really cool. But I don't know if you can hear all that rattling on the inside. I'm trying to shake it near my microphone. Long time ago, it fell off my desk, and I had it plugged in with the USB power right there. And as you can see, the jack, like it fell right on the jack, and it like snapped the jack, and it pushed it inside the box. And the box still works. I can still use the DC power, and it works just fine. It's no big deal. But I'm curious about that USB. I never got to plug it into my computer, and I was thinking it'd be kind of interesting if I could just have this on my desk and then run synthesizers through it in Reaper with that USB function. But obviously, I don't know yet because the USB jack broke and it fell inside the box. So I'm assuming I can just unscrew this thing and put the jack back on the motherboard. So let's see where assumptions take us. I've already removed, oh, that's just the, don't worry, there's not a fire. That is the solder vacuum alerting us that it's ready for action. But we're gonna go ahead and get into this guitar pedal. Whoa. And I'm going to hope that this is gonna be, you know, a couple dabs of solder and put it back on the rails so it touches the PCB on the inside. Should be an easy fix. Because it snapped off so easily, it's like there must be a design flaw or something where it's just not like well supported or secured. So hopefully while we're in there Can put some extra solder on it so it don't break. And yes, there is a fire truck or something driving by, so sorry about the crazy audio. Damn, that screw is in there good. Came out. Okay. I've never opened this pedal before, so I have no idea what we're going to find. There are no batteries in it, so we should be good there. So we're moving the first shield. Looks like, yeah, there's some sort of like little plastic guard. That's probably to make sure none of this stuff touches the shielding. But, yep, sure enough, if you look all the way down in there, you can see the jack literally just popped off the PCB. But that begs the question, how do we get all the way to there? Because there's a lot, there's a lot in here. Holy smokes. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Okay. So, first things first, I gotta unplug. Fortunately, these are actually on jacks and not soldered in, so that's cool. I might need to get some tweezers. Actually, if I use these. Oh man. Not exactly sure. Oh, there we go. No? Oh, hey. Okay. So that's the power. Got one thing gone. And then, yeah, really, wow. Because the troublesome part is so close to the top of this board, we're literally going to have to take everything out to get to ostensibly the bottom. So that means we got to take these jacks out, which shouldn't be too hard. I feel like there's going to be a lot of hardware floating around here, so I need somewhere to put all those screws, because it's going to get a little screwy. One moment, please. It's not time for dinner, kitty. Okay. Oop. Okay. Got some shot glasses to hold all the screws. And again, if you hear a screaming banshee in the background, that is just a hungry cat. She still has another hour till her dinner time, but she doesn't know that. Okay, so neat. So we got some of the jacks off of here. Now we're going to do the other side, because these jacks are on little printed circuit boards that appear to be mounted to the chassis of the pedal. And by removing these, I should then get access to the main board down there, down deep down in the hole. And there we have it. The trouble though is I still need to remove this entire board. And there's like a bunch of ribbon cables and stuff. So my hope, let's see, I can even pull this jack out. There's the jack. Oh man, yeah, it exploded. It ripped right off the board. Unfortunately, there's 3 very, very tiny cables that seem to maybe have also ripped. So this is going to put my solder skills to the test, but there's no stopping us now. There's no amount of warranty, no stickers that will hold me back. Oh yes. Bam, bam. So now, how does it come out? Oh, there's a whole other bracket in there, huh? Oh. Oh. I think there's 2 screws down here that's holding the whole thing in. But that also might, oh man, this is going to be a lot of disassembly. I mean, the pedal works as is. So I'm asking myself now, is this going to be worth it? As I just had 3 successful back-to-back projects. So I might as well use that momentum and see if we can't make this pedal USB compliant once again. Oh, there's 2 more screws I didn't see. I mean, it's cool there's a lot of screws in this thing, so that means it's unbelievably sturdy, which I can attest to that. It is, the Zoom Multistomp pedal is, there's a reason why it's as popular as it is. I'll just say that. Okay. Oh, the board started to move. My excitement is rising. Oh snap. Okay, this might be it. There's just this one screw that, in my mind, I think the post below it is spinning. Oh, there we go. It lifted. Okay, we're leaving the jacks and everything on there. We're just doing it dangerous. Oh, it's so close. Oh, there's like 1 ribbon cable. Oh, man. Oh, okay. This is getting nuts. So, we've gotten rid of all the screws. It is now unmounted, but this brown ribbon cable is actually coming up through the center of the board. And it does have a release, but I fucking hate these things because they're so tiny and I never know which way to move them, and they're usually made of some sort of plastic. And if you don't do it right, they usually just snap. And, oof. Why? We're so close. I wonder, yeah, without that, I could get under there. What to do, what to do. So this little tab, it appears there's two other, it's like on each side it has a thing. Oh! I don't know what I just did. Holy crap, it just came up. Yeah, all I did was put some pressure on both sides of that thing. Nice! And we have the guts of this pedal out. So I'm going to use my RF shield here to tilt this mama jama so I can have this in a position that I can work on. But I need something to hold it, such as a box. Woo! All right. First things first. We gotta wake up the solder pump. We gotta wake up the iron. Just give it a little shaky shake. Damn. All right. If this works, I'm gonna be so proud of myself. All right. No, kitty. It's still not dinner time yet. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm trying to remove the solder from the pads. Don't know how well you can see this. Kind of need to like tilt y'all up. There we go, that's a little better. So there's, on the very end here, there are 4 silver pads for the feet of that USB port rested. And I'm not 100% sure if they're pads or if they go through the whole board. Does not look like they go through the whole board. I think they're just pads. And similarly, you definitely can't see it on camera, but there are 3 of these like traces on the board that have definitely been removed or ripped up when the jack fell. So how we're going to get those back on the board remains to be determined. Basically, I'm just going to bend the traces into place and then hope with a little bit of flux and luck everything will just stick and flow right back into its spot. Holy Toledo, this is some tiny, tiny, tiny soldering, gang. We're talking smaller than a thumbnail. It's like half as thick as your nail. What to do? I think I need to prime the pads with some solder. And I'm sorry I can't zoom in enough because frankly this is almost out of the range of my physical eyesight. But we got some tiny pads that are going to get a tiny bit of flux and a tiny bit of solder, and with a little bit of luck the solder will flow onto the pads. Oh my god. I think it totally just did it. Okay. Wow. Okay. I think I'm onto something here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a little bit of flux on the pads so I can secure the jack to the board. And then once the jack is secured onto the board, we'll then roll the dice and throw some solder on those pads. This is such a small solder job. Oh, bother. Yeah, like keeping everything still, it's like these parts are so small. Woo! I don't know if I was like leaning over into the camera the whole time. But let's check the work. Really, I just want to make sure that the tabs on the back of this connector appear to be aligned correctly. And they're very, very, very close, but I think I can get it closer. Okay. This is as far as I'm willing to take it. Ay caramba. All right. Now it's time for the real insane part. Oh my gosh. This is the part. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I just dropped solder in there. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. This is high stakes, gang. I should put some flux in there. All right. I'm just going to drag it. I'm just going to heat it and drag it. And I know you can't see well because oh wow, yeah, I'm definitely covering the camera. But again, there's really no magic to this. It's just trying to get the heat in the right spot with a little bit of solder. Oh, it's so tidy. It's like just sticking to the jack. It's like I can't even get the tip of the solder in there. All right. I don't know what I did there, but I did see some solder sink down into where I wanted it to go. Oh, no way. Okay, so one of the teeth I wanted to touch so there's like two little teeth sticking on the back, and there's like two little blank traces on the board, and one of them's touching, so that's good. So I'm gonna just basically do the same thing, just load up a ball of solder and slam it in there and just hope the flux does the work. All right, that's as far as I'm going. The jack appears to be solid, appears to be level. And from what I can tell, I guess you would call them the traces might be touching the board in the appropriate spot. So I'm gonna call this one ready to be tested. But unfortunately, I don't have a DAW or anything set up on this computer, so this is not going to be tested live. So tune in, subscribe, like and subscribe, and find out if this repair was a success or not. Okay, so trick with this one is we got to get that ribbon cable back in place, which ribbon cables always freak me out because it's like you can never really tell if they're like plugged in all the way or flush or whatever. Might be smarter if I screw everything down first and then start plugging stuff in. That's probably a better idea. Whew! All right, what a day. This has been a fun stream. So we're going to go ahead and clamp the board down. We're going to put the cables back in place. Oh, look at that. that USB port. I can see the jack, so it lined up right, so, you know. It's gotta be a good sign, right? Now this teeny tiny fucking micro ribbon cable. I can't tell if it's in place or not. I'm just putting it. Oh man. It's always these ribbon cables. Y'all need to stop using these fucking things. Start putting jacks on stuff. I don't know how to shut it. I don't really know how I opened it. I don't really know how I shut it. It appears. I'm just putting pressure on both sides of it, and I pressed it down. And it seems okay. Oh. Yeah, fuck it. Moving on. All right. So, gotta put all the screws back in. Oops. Oh, geez. Almost knocked the shot glass of screws off the table. So yeah, I'm really not sure how I can test this thing. Mostly because it uses like the old square USB, and I don't know that I have one of those cables readily available. It is not the right screw. But part of fixing electronics is just diving in and just knowing you're not going to know everything. And sometimes you just gotta try it. If I've really had one viewer this whole time, it's a pretty riveting stream for you to stick around this long. Yeah. All right, so, oh geez, this screwdriver is not magnetic. It's kind of driving me nuts. I gotta dip some of these screws in pretty far, and it's not a magnetic screwdriver. That can be less than fun. And of course, some of these screws have different lengths to them, so I made the mistake already of putting one screw in the wrong place. Just to fix that, one more. Okay. The board is reinstalled. Now it's time to put our jacks back in place. Pretty easy, just a washer and a nut to screw on the outside. Now there is a chance that when I turn this thing on, I might have bridged the USB connection and it could just spark and start a big fire. It definitely carries a risk. So stay tuned. I don't think it'll be that bad though. Okay. Jacks are back in place. And we got to plug the power back in. Put it back in place. Put the bottom plate also back in place. And finally, the screws. Now, this stream's been going on for almost 2 hours, and frankly, I'm getting a little hungry. And I know there's one other speaker that I wanted to possibly fix, but frankly, I don't know what's wrong with it. And if I do a troubleshoot, that means I'm probably gonna have to order some capacitors and parts and stuff like that. And frankly, I don't know that I have the motivation at the moment to work on the speaker. So if you're here watching, hoping that I was going to do the speaker repair today, I will definitely do it at a later date. Maybe tomorrow. But I'm going to put this thing back together. We're almost there. Almost there. Okay. Screws are back in place. I'm going to have to find... Oh my gosh, this cat's driving me nuts. She does not stop. Right now I'm looking for the... Oh my god, I actually found one. That is power. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna plug in the USB, which is just plugged in. And I'm gonna go on the other side of the table here. And we're gonna lose a light for a moment. That's all right. I think we have plenty of illumination here anyway. And I just want to capture what's going to happen if I plug this thing in. Oh my god, here we go. Nothing! That's funny. Well, at least the jack doesn't rattle anymore. Dang. Absolutely nothing. Shit. Well, we're 3 for 4 today. That's a good batting average. I'm feeling good about it. I fixed 3 Nintendo games, and I guess you could say I kind of fixed the Zoom box. because it doesn't rattle anymore. So at least there's that. So again, if you had fun here, you know, thank you. Let's see here. Hi! Thanks for stopping by. All right, so I'm going to hang up the phone now, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And remember, this is fine. Just keep trying. And I will see you on the next stream. Goodbye. How do I turn this thing off? How do I turn it off? Turn it off, man.